Well, I'll
And
say congratulations on the film, first of all. It's always nice going into things and not having any idea where things are going to go. And I watch a lot of movies in my line of work, so it's always really nice to be pleasantly surprised. So I'm just going to say congratulations to both of you, first of
oh,
all.
thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Peter.
I wanted to ask you first, Sam, because Tom keeps, telling himself that he's like living the dream, endless summer and no commitments, but like his body kind of gives him away long before his mind does. I guess like at what point did you feel Tom already knows he's lost, even if he won't admit it?
Uh, I think if you're like in the grip of that sort of cycle of life and alcohol and things, you wake up most mornings feeling that way. But as the
Yeah.
day goes on and you realize your only option would be to confront yourself honestly and stop, or have a drink and it'll all be okay, then it's quite, it's a horrible trap. I think really the moment where he starts to really question himself deeply is when the family arrive and
Mm.
he starts to really ask himself questions about what a life may have been like with somebody and with a child or with a connection, I suppose.
And obviously, off of that, Stacey, like Anne talks about being a failed actor. I guess someone people like half recognize. I guess did that sense of being almost seen inform how you played her attention towards Tom at all?
I think so. I think she's at a point in her life where she's at a point of crisis and she's looking for anyone or someone to relate to. And that person, it becomes Tom in this film. And I think there's something very vulnerable about needing to be seen and needing to relate because it's something that we can very easily not do and we can easily just survive. And with Anne, in terms of building that character, I loved this idea that she was someone who acted before she thought. And so
Mm.
sometimes that's why her decisions feel confusing or contradictory because I think she's just at a point where things are just happening and she's sort of not quite able to control herself in that way.
And to both of you, like, because I mean, so much of your connection is built on glances, pauses, and I guess like what's not said. I guess were there moments where silence felt riskier than the dialogue, where like saying less revealed more for both of you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we both were quite happy when we could get rid of dialogue. Um, just look at each other. For me, that was. I find sometimes. I think that. I mean, I speak for myself anyway. I find sometimes it's a lot harder to say dialogue than it is to not say dialogue. Somehow, I, I find that I don't really know what I'm saying, but it's somehow I find that easy. I find that easier. And with these characters, it was very easy to do that. I think Yanola realized as well that the more we could be much more ambiguous than it is on the paper. A script has to kind of say everything so that the people who have the money read it and understand everything. But when you have actors there, you realize that you're saying it, but you're not saying it, and it works better for the visual medium.
Mm.
Sorry, Stacey, I hogged the answer.
That was a great answer.
Thanks.
And like the film feels like a feels less like a romance or a thriller than more like, a study of projection. It's people seeing what they need in each other. I guess, like, what do you think Tom and Anne think they're offering one another, and what are they actually taking from one another?
Hmm. I think it's a sort of for Anne, maybe it's a she sees in Tom sort of maybe something that a lifestyle that she might have had her life taken a different path, and there's something about confronting yourself with the opposite to actually assess where you are in life.
Mm,
And I think for Anne, it's something almost like reassuring her in some kind of fucked up way that she's done okay, because she could have been like Tom, but ultimately he also has a freedom that she's looking for. So it's
mm,
sort of, I don't think she gets really what she wants out of him, but that's also a good thing ultimately.
mm. How do you feel, Sam?
Yeah, I think it's similar. I think aside from these one night stands and these non-relationships, that the potential of family, I suppose. I think with Tom, it's also a relationship with Jack, that thing. It's these two men that are looking enviously to some extent at what the other has, imagining that their life would somehow be more to their liking if, in Jack's case, if he was free, could drink without, repercussion, not be with a woman, not have a child, whereas Tom is asking himself the exact opposite. It's that grass is this dissatisfaction, or that middle-aged men sometimes more commonly have.
Well, no, as I said, like I went into this not knowing anything about it, and I really hope that's how everyone watches this film, just like knowing absolutely nothing and let it kind of like wash
Mhm.
over you because yeah, we it's like it feels like a rarity to have really like original films out there. So again,
Oh,
congratulations, and
thank you.
I'm looking forward to everybody to let this movie unravel for them. So thank you so much.